Hello students, welcome to our channel Learning Notebook. In today's video, we are going to do complete chapter of data handling. Here in this chapter, we are going to learn about pictograph, pie chart and bar graph. So make sure you watch the entire video. But before starting with this video, let me tell you that we have made videos on every chapter of class 5 mathematics. We also have interesting worksheets and quizzes on each chapter. You can find all of them on our channel Learning Notebook. Also, you can see a list of all such videos on our website. The link to our website is below in the description box. So let's see what all topics we are going to cover today in this video. First, we will understand what is data. Then we will do pictograph and its related questions. After that, bar graph and its questions. And then we will learn about pie chart and do related examples and questions. So let's start and first understand what is data. By definition, a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements or observations is known as data. For example, this numerical data is representing number of students present in class during a week. So this is a data and it is representing number of students who are present in a class during an entire week. Now students, we can represent this numerical data in mathematics using pictograph, bar graph and pie chart. Let's understand them one by one. First is pictograph. So, let's understand how to represent the data using pictograph. Data represented using pictures is called pictograph. Let's see an example to understand this pictograph. Students were asked to name their favorite food item. So on the basis of this, we have prepared this data. So let's interpret this data. 24 students like French fries, 22 students like pizza, 20 like burger and so on. Now let's see how to represent this data using pictograph. First, let's form a table and write food on the left hand side of this table. Now we will write all the food items which are given in the data. So, French fries, pizza, burger, samosa and dosa. Now students, we need to decide a picture to represent the number of students and what each picture stands for. So let's take a smiley to represent students and each smiley will represent 2 students. Now, can you tell me why I have taken the scale as 2 students but not 1, 3, 4 or 5? Let me tell you. If we decide that each smiley stands for 1 student, then we will have to draw many smileys to represent this data. Next, we cannot take the scale as 3, 4 or 5 students because all the given numbers. These numbers are not divisible by 3, 4 or 5. This is the reason we have taken that each smiley represents 2 students. Now look at the data. 24 students like French fries. So let's draw 12 smileys to represent 24 students. Next, 22 students like pizza. So we will make how many smileys? Yes, 11 smileys. Similarly, 20 students like burger. So let's make 10 smileys here. And in the same manner, 16 students like samosa. So we will draw 8 smileys. And then we will draw 9 smileys to represent number of students who like dosa. So students, this is how we represent the data using pictograph. Let's do one more example of pictograph. Here, the following table is showing the daily production of cars during a week. So look at this data. It is representing that 250 cars were produced on Monday, 300 cars were produced on Tuesday, 150 cars were produced on Wednesday, and so on. Now let's see how to represent this information using pictograph. First, let's form a table and write day on the left hand side. Now students, in the data, days are given from Monday to Saturday. So in pictograph also, we will write days from Monday to Saturday as shown here. Next, we need to decide a picture and what each picture stands for. So let's take a car as a picture to represent production of cars, and each picture stands for 50 cars. Again, remember, we have to choose a scale which is neither too high nor too low. Also, we have to keep in mind that this number should divide all the numbers given in the data. So that is why we have taken the scale as 50 cars. Now students, we have selected the scale. So let's represent this data. On Monday, 250 cars were produced. So let's draw 5 cars to represent this 250 cars. Next, on Tuesday, 300 cars were produced. So, how many cars will we draw here? Yes, 6 cars. Then on Wednesday, 150 cars were produced. So, let's make 3 cars. Then on Thursday, 100 cars were produced. So, we will draw 2 cars. On Friday, only 50 cars were produced. So, we will draw only 1 car. And on Saturday, 200 cars were produced. So, let's draw 4 cars. So, students, we have represented the given data using pictograph. Students, we would like to tell you that we have made videos on every chapter of Class 4, Class 5 and Class 6 Mathematics. We also have interesting maths quizzes, worksheets, working models, activities and projects on each chapter. So I would suggest you to check out our channel Learning Notebook. Now let's do a different question on pictograph. There are 350 boys, 300 girls, 25 teachers and 20 servants in a school. Take your own scale and symbols and draw a pictograph to represent this data. Now here we are given 4 types of data, that is boys, girls, teachers and servants. So students, here we have to decide on picture or symbol for each of them. Also, we will decide a scale or what each picture stands for. So first, let's take a square to represent boys. Next, we have to decide on the scale. Students, we cannot take the scale as 5 boys because it is too small. And similarly, scale of 100 boys would be too large. So let's take a scale of 50 boys. That is, each square is going to represent 50 boys. Similarly, there are 300 girls, which is approximately same as number of boys. So we can take the same scale but different picture. So let's take a triangle to represent girls and each triangle is going to represent 50 girls. Next is 25 teachers. Students, we can represent teachers by a circle. And since there are only 25 teachers, so we can take a scale of 5. That is, each circle will represent 5 teachers. And lastly, we have 20 servants. So we can take the same scale as teachers but different picture. So let's take a rectangle to represent servants and each rectangle is going to represent 5 servants. So now in this way we have decided upon the pictures and their scale. So we can now easily make a pictograph. So let's make a table and write boys, girls, teachers and servants on the left hand side. Now to represent 350 boys, we will make 7 squares because each square represents 50 boys. Next, to represent 300 girls, we will draw 6 triangles as each triangle represents 50 girls. Next, let's represent 25 teachers by drawing 5 circles. And lastly, we will represent 20 servants by making 4 rectangles. So in this way, we have represented this data using pictograph. Now students, till now we learned how to represent the data using pictograph. In our next topic, we are going to learn how to interpret the data using pictograph. It means pictograph would be given to us and we have to answer the questions on the basis of given pictograph. Question is, the following pictograph shows the number of students using various modes of transportation for going to their schools. So here we are given with this pictograph which is showing the number of students using different modes of transportation to go to their school. And different modes of transportation are on foot, on bicycle, by car and by bus. And it is also given that each picture, that means each smiley, represents 100 students. Okay, now on the basis of this pictograph, we are going to answer some questions. So question A is, how many students go to school on foot? So look at this pictograph. 4 smileys are representing the students who go to school on foot. And we are also given that each smiley represents 100 students. So this means 4 smiley will represent 4 into 100, which is equal to 400 students. So this is the answer of our A part. Now B part is, how many students use school bus? So as we can see in this pictograph, 2 smileys represent number of students who go by bus. So 2 smileys means 2 into 100, which is equal to 200 students. So 200 students use school bus. Now next C part is, how many students use bicycle to go to their school? So again take a look at this pictograph. 6 smileys are representing number of students who use bicycle. So 6 smileys mean 6 into 100, which is equals to 600 students. Students, we have got a separate video on complete chapter of geometry for class 5. In this video, you can learn about point, line segment, line, ray, types of lines, what are angles, how to name an angle, types of angles, how to measure angles and draw angles using a protractor. I'm sure you would love watching this video. The link to this video is here on the top and below in the description box. Next, D part is, how many total students are there in the school? So to answer this question, we will have to add all the students who are coming to school on foot, on bicycle, by car and by bus. This means we will do 400 plus 600 plus 200 plus 200, which is equals to 1400. So there are 1400 students in the school. And the last question is, which mode is adopted by maximum number of students? Since in the pictograph we can see that bicycle has maximum number of smileys, so it means bicycle is the mode which is adopted by maximum number of students. So now I'm sure you have understood how to represent the data using pictograph as well as how to interpret pictograph. So let's move to our next topic, which is bar graph. So we will learn representation of data using bar graph first. Data represented using rectangular bars is known as bar graph. Let's see an example. Here, this table is showing the number of students who like painting in various classes in a school. So here, classes are given from 1st to 6th. And in each class, there are some students who like painting. So let's see how to represent this data using bar graph. To draw the bar graph, take a bar graph sheet and draw horizontal and vertical axes as shown here. Students, this sleeping line is called horizontal axis and this standing line is called vertical axis. Now, first of all, we have to decide what each block or 1 centimeter stands for. Again, we have to decide a scale which is neither too high nor too small. So here, we can decide the scale as 1 centimeter equals to 5 students. So let's write the scale on the vertical axis as 0, 5, 10, 15 and so on till 55. Now, let's write what these numbers represent. They represent number of students. Next, we will write the title for horizontal axis, which is classes. So, we will write all the classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now, we can start making the bar graph. First, we have to represent number of students of class 1 who like painting. They are 35. So, let's color 7 blocks as shown here. Next, let's move to class 2. There are 55 students who like painting. So, we will color how many blocks? Yes, 11 blocks till number 55 on the vertical axis as shown here. Now, let's move to class 3. Class 3 has 40 students who like painting. So, let's make a bar till 40. So, here we are going to color 8 blocks to represent 40 students who like painting in class 3rd. Next, we have 45 students in class 4 who like painting. So, let's make another bar and color 9 blocks. Then, we have 35 students in grade 5. So, we are going to color how many blocks? Yes, 7. 7 blocks. So, this bar represents 35 students for class 5. And lastly, we have 25 students in class 6. So, let's make a bar till number 25. So here we have colored 5 blocks. So this is how we represent the given data using bar graph. Next, we are going to learn how to interpret the data from the given bar graph. So here we are given with a bar graph and we have to understand this bar graph and answer some questions. Question 1 is, what information does this bar graph give? So here students, as you can see, the vertical axis represents number of families and the horizontal axis represents number of members. So it means this bar graph is presenting the information about number of families having particular number of members. Next question is, how many families have 2 members? So students, first look at the orange bar which represents 2 members. That is families which have 2 as number of members. And then check the corresponding value on the vertical axis. It is showing 20. So it means there are 20 families which have 2 members. Now question 3 is, how many families have 6 members? So here we are going to look at the yellow bar which represents 6 members. And then we are going to check the corresponding value on the vertical axis. The value is 25. So it means there are 25 families having 6 members. Let's move to next question. How many families have more than 2 members but less than 6 members? So here it means we have to add 3 members families, 4 members families and 5 members families. So let's check the corresponding value of 3 members family. It is 40. Next, look at this green bar. It represents 4 members. So its corresponding value is 45. Similarly, check the corresponding value of this pink bar. It represents 35. So it means there are 120 families having more than 2 but less than 6 members. So students, I am sure you have understood how to interpret the data from the given bar graph and how to make a bar graph with the given data. We also have a separate video on complete chapter of time for class 5. In this video, you can learn how to convert 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock and how to add and subtract time. You will find the link to this video below in the description box. Now, let's move on and understand pie chart. Data represented by dividing circle into parts is known as pie chart. For example, here this pie chart is showing number of children participated in different clubs in a school. So here a circle has been divided into different parts to represent the given data. So this is known as pie chart. Now let's learn how to read this pie chart. Here dance club is represented by half of the circle. So it means half of the children participated in the dance club. Next, art club is represented by 1/4 of the circle. And in the same way, music club is also represented by 1/4 of the circle. So this means 1/4 of children participated in art and 1/4 of children participated in music club. Students, now you must have understood how to read this pie chart. So let's do some questions. In which club do maximum number of students participate? Since I told you that half of the circle is representing dance club, so it means maximum number of students participated in dance club. Let's see the next question. If there are 200 students in the school, then find the number of students in each of the clubs. First, let's find number of students in dance club. Since dance club is representing half of this pie chart, so it means students in dance club would be half of 200, which is equals to 100. So there are 100 students in dance club if there are 200 students in a school. Now let's find number of students in music club. Since music club is represented by 1/4 of the circle, so number of children in music club would be 1/4 of 200, which is equals to 50 students. And in the same manner, art club is also being represented by 1/4 of the circle. So, in art club also there would be 50 students. Students, we would like to tell you that we have a series of test paper with answers for class 5. These test papers are very helpful to revise the concepts and prepare you better for your exams. So make sure you solve them. You will find their link below in the description box. Now, let's do one more question of pie chart. Here, following is the pie chart which is made after surveying the class for their favorite book. So use this chart to answer the given questions. So here students, this pie chart is depicting 4 types of favorite books of children of a class. And now using this information, we have to answer some questions. First question is, what type of book do most students like? So here, since science fiction is being represented by half of the circle, so it means most students like science fiction. Let's move to next question. What percentage of students like fairy tales? Now look at this pie chart. Fairy tales is being represented by 1/4 of this circle. And to find percentage of 1/4, we will do 1/4 into 100, which is equals to 25%. So 25% of students like fairy tales. Next question is, what types of books do least number of students like? Students, both animal stories and jokes are represented by 1/8 of this circle. And which is least of all the parts of the circle. Therefore, animal stories and jokes are the books which least number of students like. And the last question is, if there are 160 students in a class, find the number of students who like jokes books. Since jokes books are represented by 1/8 of the circle, so to find number of students, we will do 1/8 of 160, which is equals to 20. So this means 20 students out of 160 students like jokes books. So students, this is the end of our video, and now I am sure you have understood everything about pictograph, bar graph and pie chart. Do watch my other videos and share my channel and my videos with your friends and family. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.